Myron and Andre Williams are two of the most racist, anti-black creators on the internet.
The world has benefited from colonization. It's been a good thing for less developed peoples. Aboriginals would be sitting in skyscrapers right now if the white people never came to their land.
Literally in the middle of a gym, calling your dumb ass a nigger. You're a stupid idiot. Fried chicken, watermelon with salt.
So of course they linked up for a super cringy collab. What makes this whole thing hilarious is that for all the hatred they have for the black community,
black people are retarded. I'm just gonna call it like it is. They're fucking stupid. They're low IQ. They're fucking morons.
You doing exactly what you do every fucking day, shoot each other and over shoes and words.
And for all the they do for racists, it was actually white people that beat up Andre Williams.
I was arrested and assaulted by multiple people.
Anyway, you respond to the fact that you get manhandled by all them white people, right?
And the same white supremacists that Myron tap dances for have called him every slur imaginable while telling him he will never be accepted in their community. Yet both of these goofballs have built their platforms around hating and attacking the black community, trying to tap dance for people that will never accept them and hate them just as much as they hate us.
We take this country back. We want it for white folks. And would you go home and you said I was born here and I'm not going anywhere? And this is where I think the problem is with working with non-whites is that once you think you help us, that you're just going to stay in our country. Hey, you
But I'm Jew. Welcome to the channel. Please like and share the video. Don't forget to sub. Now, let's get into it.
And Myron, if you're not familiar with Andre Williams, extremely excited to be able to connect the two of you. He's absolutely brilliant.
No, I'm very familiar with them. Black people are retarded. I'm just gonna call it like it is. They're fucking stupid. They're low IQ. They're fucking morons. They're idiotic.
I have to keep reminding everybody, Myron has brown skin, but Myron is not from the black community. He is a Sudanese Arab. That's what he is. So all this judgment and hate he has about black people is the craziest thing ever because he's not from our community and has no interactions with our community. He is literally a black American rider. He's obsessed. He's built his whole platform off hating on black people for absolutely no reason at all. Which is funny because he never talks about Sudan. He never talks about the Sudanese people. He doesn't talk about Arabs and all the problems that they have over there. The fact is, black Americans are far more educated, more successful, and have more wealth than the people from his home country. But he won't bring up those facts because it shoots holes in his narrative that black people are all dumb or all violent or all thugs, when we know that's not the truth. Myron is literally using anti-black propaganda from like 1996 at this point.
They put feelings over facts. It's actually ridiculous. This whole Chud the Builder case has been a perfect example of, you know, black people have lower IQ and not being able to assess the facts and circumstances of a self-defense case versus their own feelings and personal grievances with Chud.
We've seen Myron put feelings over facts more than anybody else. How many times have we seen Myron be emotional or crash out?
Because when I was 18 years old, playing Halo, figuring out my life, no bitch would have taken me. So now that I'm up, you're down, that shit, I'm gonna exercise the leverage.
I left a job that I truly loved to do this, right? Because I shouldn't be admitting this, but
keep in mind, this emotional moment was after they got demonetized on YouTube. Completely got emotional, cried, and walked off the set, but still has the nerve to call anybody else a bitch.
saving children, right? That was great, but saving you guys is better.
You are a bitch.
And as a matter of fact, anytime he talks about the black community, he is putting feelings over facts. He's putting the feeling that he doesn't like black people over the fact that all his anti-black propaganda is just not true.
You are not oppressed as an African American in the United States. To all these excuses about why the black man can't get ahead. I'll give y'all one stat, all right, just to show you guys how ludicrous these guys are. In 1940, 87% of blacks lived in poverty. By 1960, about 47% of blacks lived in below the poverty line, okay? So a 40% drop. Please explain to me how you had a 40% drop of blacks living under the under the poverty line in the worst, one of the worst eras to be a black person in the United States. And then you're fast forwarding to 2023 where racism exists. I'm not denying it exists. However, it is not strong enough to keep you back or hold you back from success.
That is not how racism or systematic racism works. Being a racist in a position of power, you can always keep a black person away from success. You can always not promote a black person. Black kids don't get accepted to certain colleges because they're black.
The biggest thing that this dumbass forgets is that the rate of black poverty has continued to go down. According to him, it was at 87%. I mean, let's be honest, we started at 100%, but according to him, then went down to 40. but in 2022, it was at 17. Honestly, I think that's pretty good.
To go from slavery, hundreds of years behind white people, with nothing to where we are today is amazing, and we don't get credit for it. And we're not the ones with low IQ. Clearly he is, which is why his whole entire audience turned against him with this whole Chud the Builder case. So Myron's own community, white supremacist, racist bigots, was calling him out for running cover for Chud, for being a hypocrite, for trying to find all this nuance in Chud's situation. Meanwhile, if it was a black person doing that, Myron will be calling them every racial slur under the sun, which really just goes back to the hypocrisy of Myron in the first place. Myron would go to the lowest point of the universe in an attempt to find some type of nuance to a situation and will still claim he's being objective. Myron has drifted so far out of touch with reality. Right. Why you turn off comments in a sneak video, Mr. Free Speech, maybe Sneako video? This comment will soon be deleted by Myron's hypocritical team. And once again, he was the one emotional and crashing out when he got called racist slurs and names once again by his own audience.
Talking about haram this, haram that. You're account for that. Murtad, all these other ass that if they had told me this person, I'd fucking punch them.
You don't have to like Chud to stand for the law, stand for principle, and stand for an American's right to defend themselves regardless of your politics.
He is making it a self-defense case. It's not a self-defense case. His whole argument is flawed.
But they don't have that ability to do so. Like someone said earlier, hey, do you agree that blacks have lower IQ? Yeah, they do. That's not even that's a fact. It is what it is. They average about 85 IQ. And then some stupid fried chicken connoisseur comes in here, wait, why you gotta say that? Because it's true, you stupid. That's why.
Let's just say what he's saying at face value. I don't want to bash other black people, but let's talk facts. He's using these American standardized, European-based IQ tests, right? Where black Americans typically score between 80 to 90. But again, if he's talking about his own people, in Sudan, they score between 60 to 80. So anything negative he's saying about black Americans, he has to also apply that to his own people, which he never does. But what's really funny is having a high IQ score doesn't equate to intelligence. It's two completely different things. How can someone with a high IQ have these kind of intellectual deficiencies? This article was referring to George W. Bush, who had a very high IQ score, but comes off kind of dumb.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
IQ tests are very good at measuring certain mental faculties, including logic, abstract reasoning, learning ability, and working memory capacity, which is how much information you can hold in your mind. But these tests fall down when it comes to measuring those abilities crucial to making good judgments in real life situations, critical thinking. That's because they are unable to assess things such as a person's ability to critically weigh up information or whether an individual can override the intuitive cognitive biases that can lead us astray. This is the kind of rational thinking we're compelled to do every day, whether deciding which foods to eat, where to invest money, or how to deal with a difficult client at work. We need to be good at rational thinking to navigate our way around an increasingly complex world. IQ tests measure important domain and cognitive functioning, and they are moderately good at predicting academic and work success, but they are incomplete. And this is a really good example. IQ is like the height of a basketball player. It is very important, all other things being equal, but all other things aren't equal. There's a lot more to being a good basketball player than being tall. And there's a lot more to being a good thinker than having a high IQ. And on top of that, when it comes to standardized testing, SATs, IQ scores, all of that stuff, it was created to hurt and limit the black community. They were basically eugenics tests. The history of standardized testing in the United States is deeply intertwined with the eugenics movement and efforts to maintain racial hierarchies. Many of the key architects of modern testing explicitly designed them to justify racial segregation and exclude black people from educational opportunities. The goal of these tests weren't to measure or get an equal gauge of people's intelligence. They are and always have been biased tests created to hurt black people. The racist beginnings of standardized testing, from grade school to college, students of color have suffered from effects of biased testing.
Do you know the history behind the SAT? The SAT was originally created by Carl Brigham to actually help keep students of color outside of American universities. And he thought that increasing racial diversity in schools would decrease the American intelligence. And because a lot of students of color were getting into colleges like Harvard, they created this test to keep these students outside of these universities. And by 1930, he admitted it was a eugenics test. And even now, the SAT and the ACT are biased against socioeconomic status, race, and ethnicity.
In his 1923 book, A Study of American Intelligence, eugenicist Carl Brigham wrote that African Americans were on the low end of the racial, ethnic, and cultural spectrum. Testing, he believed, showed the superiority of the Nordic race group. Furthermore, the education system, he argued, was in decline. It will proceed with an accelerating rate as the racial mixture becomes more and more extensive.
The basis for all modern standardized testing in the United States derives from this guy, Carl Campbell Brigham, who was a proud published eugenicist who created the SAT, the same SAT that is used as a college entrance exam today in 2026, created the SAT because too many immigrants and black people were getting into college. He wanted to create a culturally biased test that would prevent people of color from getting accepted into American universities. All modern standardized testing in America is derived from the work of this guy. And to this day, in 2026, is a direct correlation between how well individual schools do on standardized testing and the average household income of students taking that test in all 50 states, in every school and every school district in the United States of America.
So everything Myron is saying is cap. It always is, especially when he's talking about the black community.
Why? I'm freezing to you motherfuckers. It is what it is. Like,
Freezer got his ass whooped multiple times by the people he looked down on.
so ridiculous how, like, every time I talk to black people, I feel like a fucking zookeeper. They're retarded. They don't understand anything. I might as well just work at a zoo, be a zookeeper, and tell these niggas what it really is, because they're stupid. It's absolutely ridiculous. Can't have conversations with these guys. They're dumb as They chimp out. They act like idiots. They embarrass the rest of us that have any type of melanin in our skin. You know, people like Andre, we get attacked all the time by these retards. He'll tell you we get death threats. They go crazy. They can never beat us intellectually. They can never prove us wrong.
Speaking well and talking fast does not equate intelligence. It's the same problem with Sneeko. Anytime they have a real conversation with any normal person from the black community, from the community they're criticizing, their logic does not hold up. And we saw that with academics.
A bunch of them saying like, you hate your race. You a racist. You a Uncle Tom. But they can never call us liars.
Cap, y'all are liars, 100%.
Perfectly said. I said that. I just did an interview with Say Cheese, and he asked me the question, what do you say to people to call you? I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I mean, you can't say I'm wrong. You can't say that what I'm saying is not true. You act a fool everywhere you go, and no one wants to be around it. No one wants to be around behavior. Simple as that. And Myron, you've been calling out for a minute. I love it. It's great.
These people intentionally talk about a certain aspect of the black community without talking about the black community as a whole. Every community, every race has poor people, less educated people, and people that commit crimes against their own community. As a matter of fact, every group commits crimes against their own group more than any crime is committed against them by another group. This is not a specific thing to black people, but because they right, and there are so many overt racists out here nowadays that they get followers and views for hating on the black community. They only speak about the black community.
More people speaking up on it, and that's why.
Yeah, there's not enough of us, bro. There's not enough of us. It's like, literally, bro, we're freezing to these monkeys, and these niggas get mad as fuck. They can never call us liars, though. They just can't.
Nobody gets mad about Myron. These are two goofball, raccoon, Uncle Ruckuses, Uncle Toms. Well, Myron ain't even that, because he's not black. He's just an anti-black, Arab, racist immigrant. Andre Williams is all of those things. Uncle Ruckus, Uncle Tom, sellout, tap dancer.
You know what I mean? And that's the reality. They hate it because they know that you're not going to get reparations. No one wants to be around you, motherfuckers. No one wants to go to Atlanta. No one wants to live in your neighborhoods. Nobody. It's actually ask, not ax.
This is what I'm talking about. They don't know what they're referencing when they speak about the black community. There are tons of wealthy black areas, towns, and neighborhoods in this country with affluent and successful black people. Even with everything we're going through in this country, college graduations are up. We see more black people than ever having successful trades in their own companies, becoming lawyers and doctors. You look at places like PG County that has some of the wealthiest black neighborhoods in the country. They don't know because they're not plugged in and they have no clue what they're talking about. They can only hate on black people from these stereotypical 1990s anti-black propaganda points.
Fat women weigh about, black women weigh 187 pounds on average. They're fat as fuck. They're retarded. They're loud. They're obnoxious. Nobody wants to be with them. They rank the lowest on dating apps. These are all facts, bro. 85 IQ. It's absolutely ridiculous, bro. So it's like, we're just saying what everyone else is thinking. You know what I mean?
Saying what races are thinking.
Everyone has a fatigue at this point.
Yeah, I got total fatigue. I just love the death threats where you ain't ever gonna be in a black area saying this, and I'm downtown Detroit like all the time. I'm always walking around. I go to my childhood neighborhood and say what's up. So I don't know why these niggas think that I'm supposed to be fearful of you doing exactly what you do every day, shoot each other and over shoes and words.
You don't gotta worry about black people. It was white people that socked him in the mouth. It's white people calling Myron out his name every day.
I don't give a fuck. I'll keep saying it regardless of how they feel. And if you do something, you're just gonna prove me right. I love saying that to them. You wanna come and kill me? You're just gonna be proving me right. Because people will say like, well, look, they killed his black ass because he said the truth. That's what they're gonna say. And you're gonna be worse off, nigga. So
that is not what they're gonna say. That is not what anybody is gonna say. How dumb does that sound? Come and kill me and prove me right. Get the out of here. These dudes are weirdos. The dumb, violent ghetto worst nightmare. What? None of us are bothered by seeing two raccoons raccoon together. You're a dumb, violent ghetto. You just don't want to accept it yet. And I regret ever supporting your red pill content. Grifters like you eventually crash out. Watching that clip feels exhausting. Relying on lazy stereotypes to get a reaction doesn't make anyone look smart. It just keeps the cycle of bitterness spinning for clicks. IQ was like white capitalism BS. A joke just like Amru. I mean, we live rent-free in these heads. They look at the analytics and see what gets the most views. They're just like Al Sharp, Race Baiter. I believe all of them were gay and they have homosexual fantasies for BBC. And then he pointed out to this, yeah, IQ tests are inherently flawed because they were created in a Western European context. They were eugenics tests. Imagine being bothered by grown-ass men who insult others but only on camera. These same grown-ass men are incapable of defending themselves, proven multiple times over. Facts. So says a house that wants a seat at the white table, never met a motherfucker that hates himself so much. Your illegal immigrant parents were able to have your lame ass because of the black people you talk about and want to be house. At this point, there's nothing to even get agitated about when it comes to people like this. We know they're losers, and we know they're mad because they were never accepted by us in the first place. So they built their whole lives around hating us, lashing out, tap dancing for racists, and praying they will be accepted by white supremacists, but they never will. Crazy work, but shout out to my channel members. Thank you so much for supporting, and thanks for watching. Y'all let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Also, make sure you check out the next video, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram for behind the scenes and life stuff, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.